Hi, these are my responses to Module 12. This is my response to Prompt 1. I think the war has changed in the type of drugs being used and sold as opposed to in the past. I feel like now we see an uprise in drugs like fentanyl, which even the smallest amount is deadly. Overall, new drugs and much harsher, dangerous ones are now way too easily attainable. They are also being used to lace drugs that have been around longer, such as cannabis, and ultimately taking many lives. I know this is a huge issue and have seen for myself growing up how much easier it has become not only for adults but for teenagers to get their hands on. Campbell describes the change in how we deal with war as not as lawfully punished as in the past, but seen as mental health issues at play. We now see many free help/rehab places for people to go to and be able to talk to mental health providers/have a recovery plan. Marijuana has also now been legalized in some states, but not all, and is used for many mental health purposes like PTSD and trauma. This makes it where people do not get into any legal trouble for that drug and can be used in a medicinal way. I have been impacted by the situation. A year ago, my older sister was heavily addicted to a long list of drugs, and this was for many years she was addicted. Fentanyl started becoming more accessible, and even I started hearing stories of kids my age dying from getting laced. My sister then began dabbling with some of these newer drugs as the people she knew started having access to them. It spiraled, and she was hooked on more things day after day, mixing multiple hard drugs that I do not even know how she got her hands on. She ended up having to go to rehab and has now been clean for over a year. Overall, it was hard on our whole family and put a lot on us. I'm glad she is better now, but it is really sad how just having easier access to something so bad can ruin so many people's lives and how much worse getting laced with these things really is in our world today. For prompt 2, I said I think the big factors at play here are poverty, exposure to this lifestyle, and people live making it look better than it actually is. Not enough people are also educated about this, and they're looking for financial security. I feel like this is something people do not realize is such a blessing to grow up and not know about or see until you are much older. I know that it is not reality for many people, and it is sad that some of these kids are growing up thinking this business is cool or good things come out of it when that is not the case. Contreras talks about the life of someone named Tukey and how he came to get involved in this. He dropped out of high school and needed a way to get money, but was struggling to find a job and fell into selling crack. I think having a good support system and encouragement to do good things for myself, going to high school/college, and getting a job to buy a car all played a role. I had a family that helped me and wanted me to learn responsibility early on before I got into the real world. Without this, I could have ended up going down a bad path and had many opportunities to get involved with that world and chose not to because of what was instilled in me growing up. Not everyone has this, which makes sense why selling drugs would seem like a good idea to them. Yes, I know many kids from high school that either dropped out selling drugs or graduated doing it as well. The people I knew all grew up poor, did not have good role models, and most of the time there was no discipline or very absent parents in the picture. I went to a Title I high school with a lot of people more than not that had tough home lives and tended to act out due to this. Their stories are so similar to Tukey's. Some kids do it for money, like someone I know whose mom died and he did not know what else to do, while some do it for status, like to hang with a certain crowd or fit in better, as drugs have become increasingly popular to many. Overall, this guidance is business is not what it is played out to be, and how would people know that without the correct guidance and encouragement? And that is all I have. Thank you.